Grace Kelly, the actress of Hollywood and Princess of Monaco. On November 12, 1929, Grace Patricia Kelly was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to wealthy parents. Her girlhood was uneventful for the most part, but one of the things she desired was to become an actress, which she had decided on at an early age. After her high school graduation in 1947, Grace struck out on her own, heading to New York's bright lights to try her luck there. Grace worked some as a model and made her debut on Broadway in 1949. She also made a brief foray into the infant medium of television. Not content with the work in New York, Grace moved to Southern California for the more prestigious part of acting, motion pictures. In 1951, she appeared in her first film entitled 14 Hours, 1951, when she was 22. It was a small part, but a start nonetheless. The following year, she landed the role of Amy Kane in High Noon, 1952, a western starring Gary Cooper and Lloyd Bridges, which turned out to be very popular. In 1953, Grace appeared in only one film, but it was another popular one. The film was Mogambo, 1953, where Grace played Linda Nordley. The film was a jungle drama in which fellow cast members Clark Gable and Ava Gardner turned in masterful performances. It was also one of the best films ever released by MGM. Although she got noticed with High Noon, her work with director Alfred Hitchcock, which began with Dial M for Murder 1954, made her a star. Her standout performance in Rear Window 1954 brought her to prominence. As Lisa Fremont, she was cast opposite James Stewart, who played a crippled photographer who witnesses a murder in the next apartment from his wheelchair. Grace stayed busy in 1954, appearing in 5 films. Grace would forever be immortalized by winning the Academy Award for Best Actress for her portrayal of Georgie Elgin opposite Bing Crosby in The Country Girl, 1954. In 1955, Grace once again teamed with Hitchcock into A Catch, a Thief, 1955, co-starring Cary Grant. In 1956, she played Tracy Lord in the musical comedy High Society 1956, which also starred Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby. The whimsical tale ended with her remarrying her former husband, played by Crosby. The film was well received. It also turned out to be her final acting performance. Grace had recently met and married Prince Rainier of the Little Principality of Monaco. By becoming a princess, she gave up her career. For the rest of her life, she was to remain in the news with her marriage and her 3 children. On September 14, 1982, Grace was killed in an automobile accident in her adoptive home country. She was just 52 years old. In the summer of 1954, Grace Kelly and Cary Grant were on the French Riviera working on an Alfred Hitchcock movie, To Catch a Thief, 1955. It was probably the scene after she speeds along the Moyen Corniche to quickly get to the picnic grounds and away from a tailing police car that she had time to look at the Mediterranean and the countryside along the coast. Whose gardens are those? She asked screenwriter John Michael Hayes. Prince Grimaldi's. She would not meet the prince until the following year. In New York in March 1955, she received a call from Rupert Allen, Look magazine's West Coast editor, who had become a friend since writing three cover stories on her. The French government wanted her to attend the Cannes Film Festival that May. She had to given some good reasons to go. 1. The Country Girl 1954 would be shown at the festival. 2. She had really loved working on the Riviera the summer before. She met Prince Rainier of Monaco during the Cannes Festival. He needed a wife because with no heir to the throne, Monaco would again be part of France. After his death, and its citizens would have to pay French taxes, and Kelly thought it was time for her to select a husband, one who would finally meet with her parents' approval. Her biographers show that the life of a princess was not exactly living happily ever after. Old friends from Philadelphia, as well as people she had known in Hollywood, reported how glad she was to talk about her life in America and to be speaking English. And then on a cliff road she had known so well since her first visit to the Riviera, there was the fatal crash. The spot is said to be the same spot where the picnic scene from To Catch a Thief 1955 was filmed in 1954. Okay, now let's talk about her family. Her spouse, as I mentioned before, is Prince Rainier of Monaco, who they married in April 18, 1956 to September 14, 1982, until her death, and they had three children. Her three children were Princess Caroline of Monaco, Prince Albert of Monaco, and Princess Stephanie of Monaco. Her parents were Margaret Catherine Major and John B. Kelly Sr. Her trademark, or how she is known as, her poised, calm, cool, and collected demeanor and blonde hair often coiffed in a bun. And she often cast as the love interest of the leading man who is over 20 years older. Trivia: in 1993, the United States and Monaco simultaneously released a commemorative postage stamp honoring her. However, United States federal law forbids postage stamps depicting foreign heads of state, so the United States stamps listed her as Grace Kelly, while the Monaco stamp listed her as Princess Grace. She was also the very first actress to appear on a postage stamp. She bought a silver frame as a wedding gift to King Charles III and Princess Diana in 1981. Cary Grant named her as his favorite co-star. His friends and family said Kelly's death hit him much harder than the death of Louis Mountbatten, Alfred Hitchcock, and even Ingrid Bergman. Her favorite flowers were roses. After her death, Prince Rainier of Monaco opened a public rose garden in Monaco. Okay, let's read some of her quotes together. Hollywood amuses me, holier than thou for the public and unholier than the devil in reality. At times I think I actually hate Hollywood. I have many acquaintances there, but few friends. Mogambo 1953 had three things that interested me: John Ford, Clark Gable, and a trip to Africa with expenses paid. If Mogambo had been made in Arizona, I wouldn't have done it.